Hailie Deegan's racing career has taken another big turn, and this time, it might be her toughest challenge yet. She has moved from Nascar to Indy NXT, a major shift that comes with new struggles. Her transition has not been smooth, and early signs suggest she has a long way to go before she can be competitive. The change from stock cars to open-wheel racing is not easy, and it requires a completely different driving style, physical strength, and mental approach. Deegan, who comes from a motocross background, is now facing one of the biggest tests of her career. Deegan's name is well known in motorsports. As the daughter of motocross legend Brian Deegan, she grew up in a racing environment. She first gained attention in off-road racing before making her way to NASCAR. She was seen as one of the top female drivers in the sport and was expected to climb the ranks. But her NASCAR career did not go as planned. She struggled with results and was eventually replaced in the 2024 season. Now, she has moved to Indy NXT, hoping for a fresh start. Her new team, HMD Motorsports, welcomed her with open arms. Team President Mike Marini spoke positively about having Deegan on board, recognizing her name as a major brand in racing. But the reality behind the scenes has been different. Deegan has spoken about how professional and well-organized HMD Motorsports is, which has raised questions about her experience with her previous NASCAR team, AM Racing. Her comments suggest that AM Racing may not have provided the best environment for her to succeed. During her time in NASCAR, Deegan faced many challenges. Her first crew chief, Joe Williams, was replaced by Matt Lucas, but her results did not improve. In fact, her performances were better under Williams. The constant changes and struggles within AM Racing made it difficult for her to progress. She was eventually replaced by former Cup Series champion Joey Logano, which made it clear that her time in NASCAR was not going as expected. Now, Deegan has to adjust to the completely different world of open-wheel racing. The physical demands of Indy NXT are much greater than what she used to in NASCAR. In stock car racing, drivers have power steering, which makes it easier to handle the car. In contrast, Indy NXT cars require much more upper body strength. Deegan admitted that she had to change the way she trains because of how physically demanding these cars are. She mentioned that her hands were small and struggled to grip the wheel properly. Fitness has always been part of Deegan's lifestyle, but she never needed it as much as in NASCAR. She has now shifted her training to focus on building upper body strength. She enjoys having a purpose behind her workouts, but the question is, has this preparation been enough? Early results suggest that she's facing a steep learning curve. In her first official practice session at St. Petersburg, she finished in last place, 21st overall. Her lap time was 1 minute 9.9742 seconds, which was nearly 5 seconds slower than the fastest driver, Dennis Hauer. In motorsports, even a 1 second gap can be significant, so a 4.75 second difference is a massive performance gap. She was also 2.5 seconds behind the driver in 20th place, Nikita Johnson. Her top speed was about 6.7 miles per hour slower than the fastest driver, and these numbers highlight how far she is to go to be competitive in the series. The differences between NASCAR and Indy NXT are more than just physical. The way the cars handle, the strategy required, and the overall racing style are completely different. In NASCAR, drivers rely on their ability to control heavy stock cars, manage tire wear, and deal with close contact racing. Indy NXT requires more precise handling, faster reactions, and a deeper understanding of aerodynamics. Deegan now has to unlearn some of her NASCAR habits and adapt to this new form of racing. Her struggles in Indy NXT do not necessarily mean she cannot succeed. Many drivers take time to adjust when switching between racing series. The learning curve is steep, and Deegan is still in the early stages of this transition. However, the early signs show that she has a long way to go before she can be competitive. One of the biggest challenges she faces is the depth of talent in Indy NXT. Many of the drivers in the series have spent years working their way up through open-wheel racing. They have experience in similar cars and understand the techniques needed to succeed. Deegan, on the other hand, is coming in with no background in this type of racing. She has to learn everything from scratch while competing against drivers who are already comfortable in these cars. Looking at her past performances, a pattern starts to form. In the NASCAR Xfinity Series with AM Racing, she struggled to break into the top 20. Throughout the 2023 season, she often finished in the high 20s or even the 30s. Despite entering with a strong reputation, she remained winless. Now in Indy NXT, she's once again finding herself near the back of the pack. The transition from stock cars to open-wheel racing is not easy. Deegan herself admitted that this is a completely different challenge. She pointed out that very few drivers have made the switch full-time. Even NASCAR legend Jimmy Johnson faced serious struggles when he attempted to race an Indy car. The differences in steering, braking, and acceleration make it difficult to adjust. In stock cars, power steering allows drivers to react faster. Open-wheel cars require more physical effort, making it much harder to control. The St. Petersburg track made things even more complicated. Street courses are known for being tricky, especially for those unfamiliar with them. Deegan had never tested on this track before arriving for the race weekend, and making things worse, the track was not available on iRacing, a popular simulator used by drivers to practice. This meant she couldn't even get virtual laps in before arriving. Her new team is known for its structured approach. They provide top-tier drivers with strong testing opportunities and advanced data analysis. This should have helped Deegan adjust faster, but early signs show that these resources have not yet made a big impact on her performance. She had only 3 days of testing before her debut, which clearly wasn't enough to close the gap between her and the competition. Deegan set modest goals for her first race, saying she just wanted to complete it cleanly before focusing on improving. While this is a realistic approach, it is a stark contrast to the excitement that surrounded her move to Indy NXT. We expected her to be more competitive. Instead, her early struggles suggest that she might already be realizing how tough this challenge will be. Another issue she mentioned is communication within the team. Some of her teammates are not native English speakers, which has made discussions a little harder. While this is not a major problem, it does add another layer of difficulty as she tries to adjust to a new racing environment. Deegan's switch to Indy NXT came after a tough period in her career. She left AM Racing after a disappointing Xfinity season. When looking back at that time, she admitted she had a lot of hope but was ultimately let down. A key issue was sponsorship. Without the financial backing needed to continue in NASCAR, her options were limited. She considered returning to the Truck Series or finding part-time opportunities in NASCAR, but in the end, she decided to move to Indy NXT. This was not her original plan, and she admitted the decision came together quickly. Switching to an entirely different type of racing meant leaving behind years of experience in stock cars. Convincing her sponsors to support this move must have been a difficult conversation. However, according to Deegan, they were very understanding of her situation. While she has faced early struggles, it is still too soon to make a final judgment. Now, don't forget to comment down your thoughts on her journey, and while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.